The sun had barely risen over the foot of Dare Mountain when Amina stepped out of her tiny mud brick house. She hugged her thin shawl around herself, fighting the morning chill. Life had never been gentle with her. Her mother had passed away young, her father spent years bedridden, and Amina had carried the burden of survival since she was 12. At 19, she worked wherever she could, collecting firewood, washing clothes, helping farmers. She dreamed of a better life, but dreams were luxuries she couldn't afford. Still, she always smiled. Every morning, she climbed the lower trail of the mountain to pick wild herbs that she could sell in the village. But this morning felt different. The wind was sharper, the forest strangely quiet until a sudden cracking sound broke the silence, followed by a cry. Amina froze. It came again, a deep, pained voice somewhere further up the trail. Without hesitating, she dropped her basket and ran. She found a man half hidden under fallen branches, his leg crushed beneath the rock loosened by the landslide. He looked like an outsider, clean clothes, a watch worth more than her entire house, and a face pale with shock. "You a broken bar, please see broken bar, help," he whispered. Amina's heart pounded. She was small, hungry, exhausted, but she didn't think twice. She shoved logs aside, using every ounce of her strength, scraping her arms, bruising her knees. The rock wouldn't budge, so she grabbed a long branch for leverage. Gritting her teeth, she pushed with all her might. Finally, the rock rolled away. The man groaned, clutching his leg, but he was free. Amina quickly tore part of her shawl and wrapped his wound as best she could. "You need help, I'll take you home. It's small, but it's safe." He tried to protest, but he couldn't stand. So she supported him, step by painful step, all the way back to her little house at the mountain's edge. Inside, the man looked around. There was barely any furniture, the roof leaked, and the only warmth came from a tiny clay stove. Amina's father coughed weakly from his corner mat. "I'm sorry," Amina said shyly. "It's not much." But the man shook his head. "You saved my life." She treated his wound with herbs, cooked him lentil soup, and let him rest. Over the next 2 days, the man healed slowly. "His name was Sion," he said. He didn't mention his last name. Amina didn't ask. She didn't know he was the owner of ZK Industries, one of the most powerful business empires in the country. She didn't know he had come to the mountain to escape stress and think after losing a critical deal. And she had no idea that the world knew him as a billionaire. To her, he was just a hurt traveler who needed help. Despite her hardships, she was warm, kind, and full of hope. She talked about her dreams of sending her father to a real doctor, of studying someday, of making a little school for village kids. She laughed softly, even when she spoke of struggles. Zion listened, and something inside him changed. When his men finally found him after days of searching, they rushed into the tiny home with panic and relief. Amina stepped back, confused by their expensive clothes and fancy vehicles. Zion stood slowly, using a cane. "Amina," he said, "I owe you more than my life. Come with me, I want to help you." She shook her head instantly. "I don't want anything. I only did what was right." But Zion wasn't a man who forgot kindness. The next morning, the entire village gathered in shock. Trucks arrived carrying building materials. Engineers surveyed the land. A group of doctors emerged from cars, heading straight to Amina's father. Zion walked to her as the whole village stared. "I'm investing in this village," he said gently. "A school, a clinic, proper house, a broken bar starting with yours. And you, if you want to, can study at my foundation's academy. Full scholarship." Amina's eyes filled with tears. "But a broken bar, why?" Zion smiled. "Because you helped me when I was nothing more than a wounded stranger. You saw a human being, not a name. And people like you deserve every chance in the world." Her father was treated that very day. Amina received books, clothes, and a chance to chase dreams she once buried. The village transformed over months. Electricity, clean water, jobs, opportunities. And every time someone asked Sion why he did it, he would simply say, "It all began with one girl who chose kindness over fear." Years later, Amina stood at the opening ceremony of the mountain school, now strong, educated, and full of purpose. Zion attended as a close friend, proud of the woman she had become. And as she cut the ribbon, she whispered, "One act of kindness can change everything."